Pandemonium Reigns.
Yo, friends and family, welcome to Pandemonium Reigns. Mike, we're back, and we're back with episode 10.
Wow. Time flies, man,
Episode
when
10.
you're having fun.
Our baby is a little over a month old. It's no longer sucking bottles. It's now eating meat. And we're back. We're back again, this time again with a special guest. My old, I almost said college, but we didn't go to college together. I just know you from my time in college. From Montgomery, Alabama, my dude, Tyler Rowland. Say what's up, man.
What's up?
How you been? How's life? Everything good?
Busy, just going all over the place.
I hear you, bro. My dude serves in the National Guard, so be sure to Venmo us at Pandemonium Reigns so we can forward our monies to those that serve our country. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Hey, man. Caught up with you a little bit on social media. Look like you've outkicked your coverage. Your wife is much prettier than you are handsome.
Yeah. Yes. She actually went to school with you, so.
At Faulkner?
Yeah, she played softball.
Okay, were we there at the same time?
I think so.
Okay, cool. Well, you know what? I hope she went farther than I did because I only lasted a semester. So
no, that's how long I lasted. So she lasted longer than all of us.
I got you. Well, hey man, we're gonna talk the weekend, and for our listeners, my buddy Tyler here, he's an Auburn fan, which we can get behind. Me and Mike can get behind that.
Yes, absolutely.
Finally,
Yes,
somebody
Warriors.
else that plays Georgia and Alabama every year and hates Georgia and Alabama.
Hates them.
Yeah.
Yes, hates them just as much as we do. Tyler, I don't know if you've done yourself a favor and listened to our previous episodes, but we've had a Georgia fan on the show and we've had an Alabama on the show. So we welcome you with arms wide open, my guy.
I appreciate it.
Hey, did you get a chance to check games over the weekend and week one? Did you have a game that stood out to you?
Yeah. So one, how bad Georgia blew out Oregon.
Yeah.
And I loved the hype around Oregon coming into that, but it kind of blew me away. It's because it was like, all right, so we're just gonna magically think Bo Nix is gonna change, and Bo Nix can be great. I mean, look at LSU last year; he was a magician.
Yeah.
But then you got Bo Nix that makes poor decisions, which showed up Saturday.
Yeah.
And I liked how Arkansas handled business. That was fun.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and then the Notre Dame Ohio State game was a very surprising to me because, I mean, it's Notre Dame. They're overrated every preseason.
Yes.
I mean, they're,
Let me ask you something about that Notre Dame
fought.
game real quick, though. I asked Mike this on the last episode. If I had told you going into this game that Ohio State is only going to score 21 points, do you still give them the win?
Probably not.
Probably not, right? That was a lackluster performance on their end.
It was. It definitely was. So, and then, of course, the Brian Kelly stuff. I mean, it's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just the massive amount of just shade thrown at him. And was it Keyshawn Butte or whatever his name is?
Booty.
People were yelling for him. Yeah, Booty, Butte, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, like telling him to take off the 7 and it's just crazy.
Oh,
yeah.
I haven't heard about that. All I know is that he removed LSU things from his bio on social media.
Yeah, he did that, and then Tom McShay was like, "All right, I'm gonna find out more." He never found out more, of course, but some fans were like, "Bro, you're telling was it Tyrann Mathieu, whatever his name is? It's like you need to tell that kid to get it together. We got a legacy to uphold."
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
They think a lot of that number 7, so yeah,
Yes,
he's got big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
They do 7 and 18.
Yeah, they do.
Stop trying so hard. Stop trying so hard.
Just retire the numbers, dang it.
Well,
normal.
I know. Jeez.
Well, we're gonna save Tennessee and Auburn for the very end, but talk to me a little bit about what you liked and maybe disliked about Auburn versus Mercer over the weekend.
Well, Robbie Ashford. That's the big thing.
Okay.
I think we haven't thrown a deep ball from a QB since Cam Newton, and Nick Marshall threw one, but let's be real, the miracle at Jordan here against Georgia, that was a fluke. It was a beautiful ball, but it was underthrown. But
Yes.
I mean, like he did, half play action, one hitch, done, skinny post, and I mean it was on the money. Even the radio guys, and Stan White was one of them. He played at Auburn, and he thought he overthrew it, but it was there.
Yeah.
I love the playbook, and it's just open. I mean, dude, they did a 2 QB. Robbie was in a slot. TJ jet sweep to Robbie to a triple option or speed option to Tank Bigsby, and it got like 20 yards. I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? Yeah, I mean, it was unreal. And they apparently have like a ton of different sets they can run out of that. But just that, I mean, just the ability to like, see something that instead of just like lackluster, I'm just going to kind of coast into the game, whatever.
Yeah. So if I'm an Auburn fan, I'm excited for that play, but am I a little disappointed that you put that on film against Mercer?
Well, some people are, but I think it's a stepping stone. It's like, hey, we can run this. We can run the jet sweep, fake the option. We can fake the jet sweep and option and run the veer out of it.
Yeah.
And then because they have on the backside, they got 2 guys running routes, and so they can still come back and run routes to the backside.
Okay.
And so they got like 20 different things they can do out of it, which is for me, I'm like, okay, now they got to defend it. That's why they put it on film. Even though it's there, they can't, they got to look at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're feeling pretty good coming out of the weekend, sounds like.
I'm about 60 to 70%. All right.
Okay. All right. Well,
understandable.
Yeah. Talk to me after the Penn State game, and I'll let you know.
Got it. Noted. Mike and I will probably feel the same way after Saturday when we travel up to Pittsburgh.
100%.
Well,
that's gonna be tough.
We'll see. We're going to talk about that. We're going to get your opinion. So let's talk some other games. The weekend is going to provide us with some fun. Couple games I want to hit off the bat though, and just get your opinion on. Mike, we'll get yours too as well. Let's talk A&M and Appalachian State. Appalachian's coming off a weekend, a heartbreaker, right? And where they were so close, an overthrown 2-point attempt conversion from upsetting North Carolina. A&M is coming off a 31-0 beatdown of a nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts on A&M? Thoughts on this game? Give me a final score prediction and give me a win or loss for A&M.
Well, one, this isn't A&M doesn't have Gene Chiswick's defense, so and they I think they played
shots fired, y'all.
And I love Gene Chiswick, but he's soft, and so they played Sam Houston State, who I think won the national championship last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah, Division II national championship.
Yeah, something like that. So they had decent competition. I think they blow them out. I mean, it's A&M.
Okay.
It ain't North Carolina. I mean, now Appalachian State's going to fight, but I mean, I'm thinking probably like 45 to like 17.
45-17. All right.
Yeah.
All right. That's part of. That sounds like what they're supposed to do.
So, yeah. If they don't do that, then something's wrong.
Which I'm here for. Let it be wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk to me, Mike. What you got?
Yeah, I think there's just a couple ways this could go. A couple things about Appalachian State. I don't know how people keep having close games with them. You would think after the upset 15 years ago that it would never happen again, frankly, but credit to their part because they keep, they've lost coaches, they've replaced coaches. Mm-hmm. They've got Chase Bryce, I think, at quarterback, who's been in college for probably 25 years now. But they're favored, Texas A&M, that is favored by 19. I do think they covered that, but I don't trust. I know they beat Sam Houston State. There was a weather delay out there that kind of threw off the rhythm of the game, but I don't trust that offense really until I see it for Texas A&M. That's just kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
Just with some of the time that it's taken them to get things going offensively for Jimbo out there. I do think they covered the 19-point spread or whatever it is. I think they'll win a 34-17. No, that wouldn't be covering. I think it'll be like a 34-13 type win if I can do math. And I think they'll be looking out for Appalachian State, who almost pulled that upset.
Okay. All right. I love it. I'm going to say a beatdown as well. I think it's one of those name your scores, just because I think the talent separation is that big of a gap. I don't know that Appalachian State's going to be able to hang on. I think Tyler said it well. North Carolina is not Texas A&M. But as far as the rest of A&M schedule goes, lose every game. See if I care. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We are not Jimbo Fisher fans. I don't know if you know this, Tyler, but
yeah, I can tell.
He's not our cup of tea. He's right there in the same bag as Brian Kelly. Yeah, which is not a good thing to say. Anyway, moving on. This one is of a little more interest. We're talking the Razorbacks hosting the Gamecocks. Spencer Rattler goes on his first true road test in the SEC. How does it unfold, my guy? What do you see?
Well, I don't think it's gonna go the South Carolina's way. I know they're sunshine and rainbows and pumping fairy dust over there in South Carolina, but he's good. Don't get me wrong, he's good, but he's not Cam Newton good.
Oh gosh, no.
And so Cam Newton could carry that team, and I think he get, like I said, he's good, and I think he does get the job done, but it's not enough because Arkansas, they're just way too good this year. And I hate that. I can't stand Arkansas. and it's not like that. We're just alike. I love their team or whatever, but their fans are just terrible. And it started with basketball season. I can't stand it.
They're entitled,
so
okay.
But I do feel like Arkansas will win. It's going to be a nail biter. I think it's probably going to be maybe a 31-28 Arkansas.
Okay.
A little less.
Okay.
It's gonna be a nail dragger now.
Okay. So you told me that you were in Houston, Texas. Do you get Arkansas fans down there?
No, I just from basketball on Twitter, and Auburn Twitter and basketball is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
When they went to the Elite Eight and we didn't, we haven't heard the end of it. And then in baseball too, it's gotten too much. I have to just play. All right, dude.
I hear you.
Talking to y'all.
Okay. All right. Mike.
Yeah. I'm not a believer, and I will not be a believer until proven otherwise with Shane Beamer. I do acknowledge the talent that Spencer Rattler has, but this, like Tyler said, this will be his first true road test, or maybe you said it. Mm-hmm. His first true road test. Arkansas is fired up. They have a lot of reason to be. They handled business, against a decent Cincinnati team in week one. Arkansas is favored by 8. I think they will more than cover that, just because I'm not much of a believer yet in South Carolina. I'm seeing like a 38-21 Arkansas victory.
Okay. All right. Listen, I would love for the game to end the way Tyler said, on like a 31-28, something like that, and absolutely break every fabric in Spencer Rattler's heart.
Yes.
But you know what? The Gamecocks are coming out of the weekend on a very, again, lackluster performance against Georgia State. And Shane Beamer threw shade at us in post-game comments. But you know what? I'm kind of with Mike. When it comes to Spencer Rattler, you're going to have to show me before I believe it. And he had a good year at Oklahoma 2 years ago as a true freshman. But a lot has happened since then. Even if they get into a shootout, I like the ability of KJ Jefferson and Jaden Hazelwood and those guys. I trust a Sam Pittman way more than I do a Shane Beamer at this point in their careers. Give me the Razorbacks 38-24. I'll take the Razorbacks. And a lot of that too is going to be contributed because it's in Fayetteville and Gamecocks are traveling into another time zone. Well, we've got another game that is on schedule. It should not be scheduled where it's at. I cannot figure out why Alabama and Texas are playing at noon, 11 o'clock Central Time. Boring. Put this game under the lights. I mean, good Lord. Good Lord. Yep. And the matchup predictor for ESPN, the FBI, has got Alabama at 81%.
My goodness.
Maybe Texas fans have vouched, hey, let's make this a noon game so we can get drunk early.
100%.
Yeah. Talk to me, Tyler. What do you think? What do you see?
Well, one, I'm surprised Will Anderson didn't kill somebody last week. Did you see the hit he put on old boy on Utah State?
I saw a highlight on Twitter. Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh my.
Yeah.
So him alone, and the fact that Bryce Young's actually running, which is super scary. Like, come on, man. You already won the Heisman. Chill. You know? Like, good Lord.
Right.
I mean, it's going to be like 50, 56, 63 to like 10.
Oh, dang.
I mean, like, and this is an exaggeration a little bit, but I mean, like, that's just how it's going to feel. Because they can't hang with this team.
So if you're Steve Sarkisian, Mike, be prepared for this question as well. If you're Steve Sarkisian, what are you doing to prepare for this game? Like, what's your game plan? What's your approach?
Full send.
Blitz ever play? They're coming.
I mean, so this is what I would do. I would take Lane Kiffin's offense versus them for like the first little bit or whenever it was successful.
Okay.
And then I would take Auburn's offense when it was successful. Obviously not, the fourth quarter. And then I would take what Derek Mason did in the first 3 quarters of the Iron Bowl on defense, and I would do that. Okay. And because if you notice, if you go back and watch last year's Iron Bowl, we blitzed every quarter until and even in the fourth quarter until the last drive. When we stopped blitzing, we played prevent, and everybody knows what happened there.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to talk about the holding in the end zone or anything like that, or the 3 offensive groundings, but hey, it's whatever. I'm still petty about that.
I would be too. I would be too.
I would be too.
But, that's what I would do. I mean, I'd send it. Like, what do you got to lose, man? If you get blown out, it's Alabama.
It's expected.
Yeah. If you compete, then you get a little notch on your belt saying, hey, we actually might be good.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I mean, 2019, they went punch for punch with LSU, national champion that year, in Austin. But this is not the same. This is not the same team at all.
Mm-mm.
I think the verdict is still out on Sarkisian. And of course, it is only year 2. But anyway, so you said blowout, Mike. What you got?
Yeah, I mean, my gut tells me blowout as far as final score for sure. I ultimately think that Alabama really could name their score. If they wanted to hit 60, I don't think Texas could stop them. And I'm not happy about that. I mean, I would love for Texas to pull this. I really would. But between not trusting Quinn Ewers, not fully knowing what Steve Sarkisian is as a head coach, I mean, there's just so many things. The injuries that hit them in fall camp to Nayor, and I think it was an offensive lineman we discussed, just the factors are miserable for Texas in this game. Yeah. And I think Alabama could name their score if they wanted to. Okay. Maybe he's like, hey, this is my old buddy, my old OC. He doesn't do that, but I could see him doing that if he wanted to. It's up to Nick and the players on that team, I think. If I am Steve Sarkisian or if I'm a coordinator on that team, I agree. Open it up. You've got nothing to lose. Even if you go balls to the wall, you lay everything out there and you lose or you get blown out, you may pick up some, if I'm in that position, I'm going to say, hey, they threw everything that they had at them. Yeah, we lost. We know that we're not on their plane right now as far as talent or anything, but at least we weren't playing scared or like we knew we would lose. Because as a player, you can't have that mindset that we assume for Texas right now, so throw it all out there, go for it. If it's 4th and 5 or less every time, I mean, just lay it all out there because you're going to have a chance. Okay. I think.
I like it. So the line is at 20 at 20 in Alabama's favor. Does Alabama cover, y'all?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely they do.
The over under is set at 65.5. Over or under?
I'd go over.
Over. So if it's a blowout, you're saying it's like 59-7.
Well, yeah, something like that. Because I mean, even if you think about that, right? Like because Bama can go 42-0 with their first string and be done in the third quarter.
Yeah.
And then Texas scored 20 points on the second string and third string in the fourth quarter, and Bama still at least gets a field goal or so. They'll at least score a touchdown.
Okay.
I mean, because they're gonna put 42 up on them like real quick.
Okay. All right.
So
I agree with that. They're going to score really quick. I'm going to lean under just because I feel like I've been burned too many times betting this exact scenario. So I'm going to lean under just with my gut because I don't trust Texas. That's just where I'm at. And I think if it approaches 50 or 60, I think Saban might call the dogs off a little bit. But that's just where my gut's at. It has so much potential to hit that over.
I don't know. And Saban calling the dogs off. I feel like the last time he did this was the comeback, where he took his foot off the gas. And ever since that game, thank you, Auburn, for that, by the way.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All the new rules are because of us too.
We've yet to see a Saban pull his foot off. I can't think of an instance anyway. I mean, of course, he might sub dudes out, but it's like, we're going to run our offense. We're doing it. We don't care.
Yeah, I remember in Michigan State, they played him in the bowl game, and I think it was Michigan State.
2010.
Yeah, and he's
looking at the sideline like this.
Kept running the ball up the middle, and they kept scoring. It was like 49-0. He's like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Like, if they can't tackle me, I can't do nothing about it. Yeah. I'm not gonna have my guys lay down.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I'm with you. I would love for Texas to make this a game. I don't see it right now. Quinn Ewers is too new. Sarkisian, what we know about him as a Texas head coach is that he lost control of the locker room last year. He lost control of his players. I mean, the Oklahoma game took the wind out of their sails, and they were never the same after that. So until proven otherwise, I'm going to say Alabama big. I'll take like 45-10, something like that. 45-10, 45-17. Maybe Texas gets a late score. Who knows? Probably not. A game that should be closer. Should be. Two schools that Mike and I love to hate.
Yes.
The Wildcats travel to Florida. Florida, can I just be pissed off for a second?
Do it. Please do it.
We came into the season Florida unranked. All right. And we're already at Florida at 12. Yes, you beat a top 10 team, but you did it barely. I mean, golly.
They helped you. They sure helped you out.
Oh, gosh, I just hate seeing those tiny little numbers next to Florida's name just because, if their skull caught fire, it's not me, FBI, if you're listening. But I wouldn't care. I just wouldn't care.
Oh, man.
Talk to me, Florida, Kentucky. Tyler, what do you on the opposite side of the division, man? How are you looking at this? What do you see? What do you think? How do you think it unfolds?
I don't buy into Kentucky hype. I think the quarterback's good, but I don't buy into it. I also don't buy into that Florida is the number 12 best team in the country. That's an overreaction, and it always happens. There's one overreaction somewhere, and it was them. But I think Florida went on that streak for a long time where Kentucky didn't beat them at Florida or something like that, and so being at Florida and they're not. Kentucky is not at the level of like Benny Snell in that year. I think Florida pulls it out very, very close.
Okay.
It can go one or two ways. It can be a high scoring game, but Kentucky, their games usually like knockout, drag out fights because they just have to struggle. They're a blue collar struggle team, know. And so I think it's gonna be 24-27 Florida.
24-27 Florida. Listen, the good news is Kentucky gets their heart broken in that situation. The bad news is Florida wins another thriller.
Then they make them number one. Yeah.
I don't think they'll ever do that. Maybe 4.
Well, isn't the top 25 right now the Associated Press top 25, or is this the ESPN top 25? Okay, so it's the Associated Press. So it's a bunch of opinions from people who don't watch the games. Got it.
Casuals.
Noted. Cool. Michael, talk to me.
Yeah. Last week in the Florida and Utah game, I let my Florida superstition force me to pick Florida to win that game. I'm not going to do that anymore, except for maybe the Tennessee game. We'll see how I'm feeling on that day. But I'm not going to play that card. Could they beat Kentucky? Obviously, they could. Anthony Richardson, I'm not big on either quarterback, especially Will Levis's top 10 pick hop. I know the NFL loves his prototype and his build and all that, but dude turned it over way too much.
Yeah.
So if he turns it over in this game, it could certainly be a Florida win easily. Like they could easily cover. They're only favored by 6. It is at home. It's another home night game. What's up with that, man? Play this game at like noon or something. Come on, man. Swap slots with Texas and Alabama. Do that for me. But it's not my Florida superstition that predicted the win over Utah, but I do think Kentucky without Chris Rodriguez, with a turnover-prone quarterback and still figuring out the post-Wan'Dale Robinson era, I do think Florida can probably win a similar game to that Utah game. Again, not my superstition, not my just irrational fear that comes with being a Tennessee fan. I think they'll win this game because I don't trust Kentucky for some of the same reasons that we've talked about. But Florida wins a low-scoring game. It's actually a low over-under of like 51.5. I don't think that will be reached because these defenses are probably going to really put some good stuff out there. But I'm thinking Florida like 17-10 is what I'm thinking. Low-scoring game, potentially some turnovers there, but I don't love the quarterbacks. I like the running games of both teams, but don't like the quarterbacks.
Okay, I think that's fair. I'm telling you what, if I'm Kentucky, if I'm going to lose this game, it's going to be because Anthony Richardson had to throw the ball. I'm not letting him run. I'm gonna keep 8 in the box. I think I'm gonna show a lot of single high, and you know what? If they're scoring because he's passing, then they're scoring because he's passing. I'm not letting this dude run. I'm not gonna let this happen this way. And if I'm Kentucky, I'm also gonna play keep away. They can't score if they're not on the field. I'm gonna try to ground and pound. I'm gonna try to chew up clock. But you know what? Kentucky in this Florida game, Kentucky seems to find ways to continue to lose these guys. I can't remember what year, but there was a year where they lost the game because they just didn't cover a receiver.
Wide open in the end zone.
I just like, what is you doing? So that's Tyler's family in the background, y'all. Y'all say hi. So I like Florida in this. I think that Anthony Richardson on a big stage proved a lot last week. So I like his ability. But again, if I'm Kentucky, I'm going to make him throw it. I will take Florida to win, but not Florida to cover. I'll take Florida by 3. And that over-under is at 51. What do you guys think they go over or under there?
No, under.
Yeah,
Under.
I'm leaning strong on the under, which is hard to do because that is a rather low under for college football betting.
All right, cool. All right, hey, let's talk our dearly beloveds then. Let's talk some Auburn. You host the mighty Spartans of San Jose State. They're traveling from the West Coast. The drums are playing, and the Spartans are locked in arms as they march into Jordan-Hare. How bad is the score going to be?
I hope it's I would hang 70 on them. But more like I'm more or less concerned about the score and more concerned about our quarterback play. Because that's the big talk this week. Because everybody wants Robert Asher to be the starter, and I agree. Like he gives flashes of Nick Marshall read option, but also can sling it. But TJ Finley was named the starter, and his footwork and everything, he's gotten a lot. You can tell he's gotten better. But he made 2 just bonehead throws. He made 2 picks against Mercer. Like, come on, bro. Like, it's Mercer. Like, what happens when you got Penn State and then Bama and Georgia and LSU? And like, we'll just keep naming them.
Yep.
You know, like that kind of thing. And so that's my big thing. And I think this game needs to be a Tank Bigsby breakout game. He needs to have at least 150 yards. And just so he builds a lot of confidence going into Penn State.
Okay.
You know, that's my thing. And we got to figure out the defense because our secondary was like soft as butter. Like, I mean, it's like cotton candy cover receivers. So.
Okay. So you got more like other things you want to see as opposed to something on the scoreboard. I think that's
exactly. I mean, we all know it's a cupcake. We're gonna have a blowout. But I mean, let's see. See who has a dog in them.
That's spoken like a true realistic fan. I love it. Mike.
I'm just gonna throw a number out there because I don't know much of anything about San Jose State. I know less about Auburn than I do about some schools as well. But it spreads 24. Auburn to win by 24. I'm gonna say they cover that with like a 45-6 top win. Figure some things out and really get themselves feeling good about that Penn State test coming up the week after.
Okay. I think if I'm Auburn, I don't know that I want to put the load on Tank because I want him coming out of Saturday healthy, and I want him ready for Penn State because I am going to live and die by him come the Penn State game. But we're going to talk about that in just a second. So I'll take Auburn here, obviously big. Let's go 49-10. San Jose State kicks a late field goal, and it means absolutely nothing. It means absolutely nothing. All right, Tyler, let's talk. I know it's next week. Let's talk Auburn and Penn State. You know what? We're not on the team. You're not on the team. So we can look past. We can look past San Jose State. We get the privilege of doing that. So as an Auburn fan, what are you feeling going into next week's game? I know you haven't had a chance to see anything related to the San Jose State game, but coming out of Mercer, going into Penn State, how you feeling? What are you looking for?
Well, one, why is this game at 2:30?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Penn State did the whiteout against us, and you mean to tell me that we can't give them, you know, what we like to say is when Jordan Hare just gets weird, Auburn and dark. You know, because some weird things happen at night in Jordan Hare Stadium.
Yeah.
Luckily, the second half will be tonight. But, you know, I want to know 100% who's going to be the guy moving forward. I know TJ is one, Robbie's two. It's more like 1A, 1B. We've heard things of saying that, you know, Brian Harsin likes to run 2-3 quarterbacks at a time. He runs the hot hand, which is really good. I like it because Gus couldn't do that. He like just freaks out. I mean, he has like an aneurysm every time he tries to do a new drive with a different quarterback. But Harsin is in our OC Keesaw. They're wizards with it, which is good.
Yeah.
You know, I want to see how our defense handles actual good competition. Not saying that, you know, Mercer, but they're just not on the same level as a Big Ten team.
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
Yeah.
You know, because in all honesty, we're coming in saying, hey, you know what? Auburn can go 5-0, and then maybe LSU. And now it's looking like we could really do it. And if we beat Penn State, it's going to be like the early, you know, Texas versus Oklahoma. It kind of sets the stage because if we can get past Penn State and go 5-0, then we're going into Georgia undefeated, and now it's a game.
Okay, yeah,
that's what I want. You know, just a lot of questions for me when it comes to defense. Our D line's phenomenal. Our new linebacker that replaced Jacoby McClain, Cam Riley, he had 15 tackles last week.
Oh wow!
Okay. He had more tackles in one game than he had all last season. Yeah,
okay.
That dude's on it. So
okay.
I'm not too worried about that. It's more the secondary, and we got great coaches, you know. But just seeing how we mesh.
Okay.
I'm feeling really great about it, just because, you know, it's just a different feel this year. It's
okay.
weird.
Okay. Listen. You're talking to Tennessee fans. Understood.
100%.
Understood. So if I'm hearing this right, now I know this question is very dated at this point, but you happy with the Harsin hire? And
I am. So my big thing is, you know, man, I mean, you played sports like I did. You know, my dad's a coach. Yeah, and so growing up, if you had one of those, I like to call them fairy dust throwing coaches that just pump sunshines and rainbows and everything's fine, you don't get nothing done. You got I like somebody to get in your face when you mess up, hold you accountable. And that was the big thing: is hold players accountable. And, you know, do I agree with everything that happened this past summer? Absolutely not. I think he's the right man for the job. Yeah, and Now he's not the second coming of Auburn. He's not the next Pat Dye or anything like that. We'll see.
Yeah.
But he's on the right track. I mean, this dude's in the gym with the players running stadiums with
It's awesome.
Like,
Yeah. Players coach.
I mean, yeah. Well, and I'm not going to say anything back because that dude's jacked.
Yeah. He's in much better shape than our coach.
Yes.
But is Harsin left-handed? No, he's not. What up, Heupel? So you're feeling good, and you're glad to see Gus go. That's what I hear as well.
Yeah. Well, the problem I have with Gus is not the fact that he's just a control freak, but how many times did Auburn get up on somebody and we just let off the gas?
Yeah.
And he never changed. But when we go into the Alabama game, and he's sitting Iron Ball and Jordan Hare, it's just weird things happen. I mean, we do a fake punt formation that gives us a first down, and all of a sudden we win. I mean, I don't know. He pulls a rabbit out of the hat.
I mean, that was a heck of a rabbit too. A genius move on his part.
Yeah. And then, rule got changed because of that. So, if you notice the rule changes that come out, these normally are because of the Iron Ball.
Yeah. Auburn says hello. Yeah. Mike, I am not going to get your opinion here on Penn State because we're going to talk about that one next week.
Yeah.
All right, Tyler. We're gonna shift focus here a little bit, and we're gonna make you talk about Tennessee. We are a Tennessee-based podcast. It is what we do. We don't talk just Tennessee, but we do talk Tennessee
a lot.
And you're not off to a good start because you don't like my quarterback's last name.
So name change. That's all I'm saying.
I get it. 2022, just change everything. So hey, if you're a Tennessee fan, you're going to this Pitt game. How you feeling? What do you think? I mean, what's your outside perspective on Tennessee?
Tennessee's one of those. It's like, all right, they have a chance to be good because I mean, Hendon is a really solid QB. He established that last year.
Mm-hmm.
And Heupel is a really good coach. I think he's a little bit weird, but he's a really good coach. And weird's good sometimes, Penn State's or not Penn State, but Pitt is rolling on a high because they backup rolls back. They beat West Virginia, and so it's going to be a tough game. It's at Pitt,
yes.
And so I don't. If they pull it, I have the ability to pull it out. But I'm leaning more Pitt just because it's in their backyard. They're they're coming off that really nice win. They had a tough test at first, and so they're battle tested.
Yeah.
And Tennessee is getting in a good competition now. Now, does that mean that they can't handle them? Sure. I think they can.
Yeah.
Tennessee scares me, all because of Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning and
I did not see that coming.
1998, because I think that game we were supposed to be just good, and here comes Peyton Manning.
That is Tyler. That is not where I thought you were about to go. You know how many generations have passed?
Yep.
Bro, wow. My guy went back to 1997 Atlanta on us.
Yes. I'm telling you now. Then you go to 2004 and we had 5 first-round picks and actually win. And so it's like if Tennessee gets like good, then it's like, all right, we're going to have to do something.
I will never forget that 2004 game. Never. You guys came into Knoxville and you came in with a 2-headed monster in the backfield, along with Jason Campbell at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And we had questions. Here we were talking about 2004. This is wild, but we had questions at defensive tackle. And I'm looking at a buddy at that time, going, "There's no way we win this. They're a 2-headed monster, and we don't know how to plug the A gap." And y'all ran through the A gap the entire night.
Yep.
I mean, it was like Cadillac run left, Cadillac run right, Bronny run left. Good Lord, steamrolled us. So let's not talk about that one.
I still have a picture of Ronnie Brown running over to. And this is probably sort. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say this, but
It's fine.
Ronnie Brown running over a Tennessee dude. He's on his back. His helmet's rolling down. And he's stretching out over the end zone. It's probably one of the most iconic Auburn pictures ever.
If I remember right,
I apologize, but
it's fine. If I remember right, the jersey number on that Tennessee player is 18, is it not?
Maybe I can't. I can't remember that.
Mike,
I just know Ronnie Brown.
Mike, I'm pretty sure it's Jason Allen that he's.
I think it was.
I think it's Jason Allen.
That feels right. I've removed this game from memory long ago, and
Well,
there's been way too much bad.
Up some...
No, you're good. It's better than the bad since then, but yeah.
Well, at least you're not building brick by brick.
Oh God! Don't do that. Yeah. Okay.
Now he's gonna boot you out.
Yeah. All right. Ending the Zoom meeting now. Yeah. Gosh, why did you have to do that?
I apologize.
If Pitt comes out of this game on top, listen, I'm not going to be surprised. I'm going to be pissed, but I'm not going to be surprised. I think Pitt, and Mike and I are going to talk about this later on a separate episode, but I think Pitt's got a lot up front that makes me nervous. So, and they're coming off a high game, and we steamrolled a nobody. So, now let's talk Hendon Hooker for a second, Tyler. Is he Heisman? Is he on the outside looking in, or does he have a chance?
It's going to be tough because you got to think you got dude from Ohio State, and you got 2, maybe 3 people on Bama at least, with Will Anderson and Bryce Young, and then that's the top 3 right there. And then of course they always bring somebody from the Pac-12, and I think he's outside looking in, but you gotta with the way things are going. If you beat Georgia, then he's in the mix.
Okay.
And if you beat Georgia with him throwing it, his name's in there.
Okay.
It's in the hat. Because that's the big thing is he really he hasn't had the game to where it puts him on the map.
That's very fair.
You know what I mean? Like even like Stetson Bennett, just everybody doubted him. They still doubt him. But he had the game against Bama, and it's like, oh, this guy might be pretty good.
I'm telling you. I mean, Mike and I have said this. What else do you want the guy to do?
Yeah, exactly. And so, I think it's gonna be something like that, where he's gonna have to really use his arm and his ability to put it on somebody.
Okay. Listen, let me pick. I think Michael will 100% agree with this. If we go into Athens and win that game, it's because Hendon Hooker threw it, and he threw it well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, week 1 proves that you're probably not gonna do it running the ball. I mean, you're probably not gonna do it. And if you do, you're gonna have to run it up the middle. You're not getting to the edge on those guys.
Yeah.
From what I saw, I mean, but yeah, Hendon would have to have. He would frankly have to have put himself on the map for the Heisman Trophy to win that game, or everything fell apart for Georgia in that game. I mean, there's really just a couple variables for me.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing there, Tyler, that I disagree with, and I think everything you said is fair. At the end of the season, I think he's going to be on the outside looking in. I mean, I've been a Tennessee fan a long time. He's going to be on the outside looking in. All right, I got 2 more questions for you. And then we'll wrap up the show. So again, thanks for being on with us. Give me a final record. Give me a final record for Auburn and give me a final record for Tennessee. I've got both schedules pulled up if you need them for reference. How does it unfold for the Tigers on the season's end?
I think we have a very high possibility, and everybody has us like 6-6.
Okay,
but they forget we beat Ole Miss. We had Mississippi State beat until Bo got hurt. Beat Arkansas. We beat Arkansas 6 years in a row. Almost beat Bama.
Almost beat Bama.
That was at home, So I don't think we're going to do it this year. I think we have a high possibility of going 10-2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think we're going to go 9-3. Maybe 8-4 on a bad note, but we're not going to be 6-6.
Okay.
Yeah. If we can get to the Georgia game 5-0, then we can squeeze out 3 more wins, because I think we're going to beat Texas A&M at home. and we're gonna beat Arkansas. We'll probably sweep Mississippi schools, and it'll come. So it'll come down to Bama and Georgia, and if we lose another game, I think it will be to Arkansas. It'll be the only one, Arkansas or Ole Miss.
So does the Penn
So,
State game kind of set the trend for the rest of the season? Like
yeah, it does. It definitely does. It did the same thing last year. We lost that game, and the bottom fell out.
Yeah.
It was like nothing was the same.
Okay.
So Tennessee, I haven't looked at their full schedule.
Well, let me walk through it game by game with you right here. I'll just read it off to you. You got us losing to Pitt, right?
Yeah, that can go either way. That's a toss up. I know I have you losing to Bama and Georgia.
Okay, but I mean, you got to give me a win or loss. You can't say toss up. You got to give me a.
Okay, I'll say loss for now.
Okay,
it's how the wind blows is which way I go.
Okay, okay. Home against Akron.
Oh, that's a win.
Home against Florida.
I think you beat them.
Oh, redemption,
my man.
At Baton Rouge.
Oh, you're gonna beat them.
Home against the Tide.
Oh yeah, no, sorry.
No, we agree. You're good.
100%.
I'm not gonna predict we win that game until we actually beat them, so it's fine. Home against UT Martin.
Win.
Home against Kentucky.
Win.
At Georgia.
Loss.
At South Carolina.
Ooh, that was always a weird game, but I think you win that one.
Okay, and then at Vanderbilt.
That's a win.
So
you skipped Missouri.
Oh, sorry. Home against Missouri. Sorry.
That's a win.
Okay. So we've got losses to Georgia, Bama, and Pitt. So 9-3?
Yep. 9-3. I think if LSU is a 9 game and Baton Rouge, that's a loss. If it's not a 9 game, then it's a win.
Okay.
Because we all know when the night games in Death Valley, the voodoo gets go. Yes.
And
just go stupid.
Garth Brooks calling Baton Rouge. Man.
Yeah.
It gives me goosebumps. I'm not even an LSU fan.
Well, you guys have had some barn burners down there. I mean, LSU and Auburn just in the series alone has had some really great games, and some really like questionable endings. Like, how in the world did that just happen? Right.
Yes.
Several times over the years. Several times.
Including their national championship year. If you go,
almost beat Burrow.
Oh, yeah.
The touchdown they scored to go ahead, you can look at it, and they're bear hugging Marlon Davidson, and 2 people are bear hugging Derek Brown, and he just goes and scores. And it's like, how did this happen? Like, excuse me?
Yeah, right.
It's right. What can you do?
I hear you. I hear you. Well, I think we all know the writing on the wall, but I'm going to ask you the one last question anyway, unless Mike has something else for you. Who is national champion?
I think it comes down to Bama and surprisingly Ohio State.
You and everybody else.
Yeah. But I definitely think there's going to be a sleeper. We don't know who it is. It could be Notre Dame coming out. It could be Clemson, but they don't play nobody.
Clemson's going to have to do better than what they did against Georgia Tech.
Man.
Yes. But you got Bama's defense is just, it's like Georgia's last year. But then you got Georgia, who's got a decent defense this year, and their offense is better than they were last year. It's like, what do you want us to do?
I think calling their defense decent is a slight. I think they're pretty
decent. It could be.
It is. Well, it's compared to last year's defense.
Fair. That's fair.
That was a legendary, that was an NFL defense.
It was.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But then you go and look at the Oregon game, and the first pick both rows was a freshman diving backwards in coverage, one-handed the ball. And I'm like, dude, where do you find these kids?
I can tell you where he found him. I can tell you exactly. So I'm a character coach here at the high school, and we played that guy 3 straight years now. And he is every bit of the hype. Every bit of it. Every bit of it.
Well, But it's also against Bo Picks. So
Bingo.
So it's funny. Let me tell you a funny story about that, and we'll wrap up the show. Mike, I don't know if I've ever told you this. So I spent time when we lived in Charleston. We didn't technically live in Charleston, South Carolina. We lived in a town called Goose Creek, and I helped middle school Bo Nix pack up his U-Haul before he moved back to Alabama. He was in. Cool. He was right outside Charleston, South Carolina, for a very short amount of time. I think his dad got another job out there or something. I don't remember, but anyway. My last question, I know I keep saying this, but seriously, what was Bo Nix looking at on that second pick?
The receiver, the whole entire time.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you
that's
go.
It.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, come on. You could see where his reads were from the moment he took the snap.
Yeah.
If you didn't pick that off, something's wrong.
That's true.
Yeah, it sounds like Georgia did exactly what they were supposed to do. Oregon is very bad. They're not good. They are not good. Georgia exposed them.
Oregon's going to win the Pac-12. Watch. Not because of anything, but just because of how
because the Pac-12.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. Yeah, they're going to compete with them.
It'll be Oregon or Utah, right? It won't be USC.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be one of the teams that got exposed in week 1. That's how it goes.
100%. Yeah, every time.
Well, there's a lot of season left. It's only week 1. We're just talking, making stupid predictions going on the year, and we're only in week 2. Tyler, man, hey, dude, I appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us all the way from Houston, Texas. It's been a pleasure to see your beautiful face again. Last time I saw you, I think you had a beard though. You had a little bit of scruff. The military makes you do.
This is not allowed in the military. I have to say that.
I got you. Well, hey, we will be back actually later today. So this is the first of 2 episodes today. So thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you guys subscribing. Mike's mom has been apparently telling everybody because our views are going through the roof. Thank you, Mrs. Penny. Thank you, Mrs. Penny. Appreciate that very, very much. But again, this is Pandemonium Reigns. Make sure you're subscribing, you're following, you're pushing all the buttons. Thank you. And again, hey, fans, which is crazy to say because we have fans. We are in conversations with sponsors, so be on the lookout for that. If you're in the Chattanooga area, got some cool stuff headed your way. Well, all that said, hey, week 2 is here. Let's do the thing. Go Volunteers, GBO, go War Eagles. Tigers, whatever you are.
Don't put S on the end of Eagle.
Sorry. So the high school that I work at here, we're the Chestatee War Eagles. It's habit. It's habit.
It's all right. Yeah, you get one chance.
One pass.
One pass.
Yeah.
One pass. You did bring up Auburn 2004. Pandemonium Reigns. I'm Dan. He's Mike. That was Tyler. We appreciate you guys listening to us. Y'all have a great day and enjoy week 2 of the college football season. See you guys later.
Pandemonium Reigns.